Hey guys, I just wanted to show you that I do have, I guess before I started this little splurge of Battle Brothers episodes, I had 600 and some hours, I think. Now I got 800. Now some of that's not accurate because a lot of times I would fall asleep. Sometimes I'd fall asleep and the game would be playing for 8 or 10 hours while I'm sleeping. I fall asleep in my chair or something, and I go lay down and then I come back and I forget to turn off the game. But anyway, yeah, we had a good. We defeated the Nova War, and that was my goal. I mean, I would like to continue if possible. Um, we're really beat up right now. Let me look at it real quick. Yeah, I'm just very confused because when I did came the Never War before, um, it was always Zweihanders, the two-hander guys. There was always like three or four of them in the big battle, and that was just there's mercenaries, but no Zweihanders. So I was kind of confused, and I really have not had good luck as far as heavy armor goes. I mean, I got this 300 helm, but that's about it. Granted, most of my guys will be nimble. The only ones that are battle forged are really the farm hands. And if I get enough people to start watching, like I can, what a lot of people do is they, rename the characters by their subscribers' names and that kind of thing. Um, this was a really odd campaign because, like I said, normally ideally I would like three mega tanks. And I forgot the guy's name I used to watch. Um, that's where I get the word mega from. There was several people that I used to watch Battle Brothers, and exclusively peasant militia. And I really don't like the. I've never tried it, but I don't like the. I forgot what the mod is. The new Legends mod or whatever. I really don't like that, and I really don't like the beasts and stuff. I just like fighting, brigands, and I really don't even like the barbarians that much either. I just like the whip and the throwing weapons. But that said, I really don't like fighting against people with throwing weapons, and I really don't like the fortifications. But I do love the game, and there was what's interesting about this campaign is a lot of our guys that we thought were just going to be frontline, like tanks or whatever, they actually rolled really good for their. I mean, the 72 is not great. I mean, of course, you want it close to as 100 as possible, but I mean, to me, peasant militia, getting a guy to 70 some or 80 is pretty good. I mean, yeah, you're gonna miss some of the time, but uh, I saw Nine Lives proc on this guy. This guy he should have died. So Nine Lives actually saved this guy's life. and his stats are down a little bit right now just because all these debuffs. These are just some fodder I got just to try to fill in the line, but ideally what I would like to do is keep, what I see a lot of people do is they just, when they go to the end game, they just automatically replace the brothers they started with, and just level up the all stars. But I like to keep the starting cast, until they die. Really, unless they got like some terrible injury. Like this guy here, he's not very good. I mean, he rolled really good on melee skill. I guess he is pretty good. His melee defense is pretty high too, so he doesn't really have any stars or nothing really special about him. And he has a permanent -5 melee skill. But this guy's serviceable. He's not an all-star, but and these archers, there was nothing really special about them. I mean, granted, had 3 stars and 2 stars. But starting out, most of the time, you're not going to find anything over 33 or something. So to get to 70 is really an achievement. And this guy was a poacher, so I think he started at 50. And he really hasn't rolled that great. This guy was actually a frontliner, and I lost the good bannerman I had, so I just switched him into a bannerman, and he's not a very good one. He only has 1 star. Ideally, you'd want 3 stars down here in Resolve, but I like to have at least 1 star in melee attack, and I don't know. Ideally, a lot of times I go melee range defense. This time I decided to do melee defense, and his melee defense is actually pretty good. I mean, this guy's on the front line. He's only got 28. What's bad about this guy is he has absolutely 0 range defense. So that's not good at all. Whereas this guy over here, despite all these debuffs, has 21 range defense, which is almost as much as my archers. But let's just go through these guys a little bit. And ideally, what I like for the front line, like everyone have the underdog. This time I didn't. I don't know why. I guess I got on this little 9 lives kick. And I really like Steelbrow. I love Colossus. I love farmhands, and to see most farmhands start out with Resolve in around a 30. So basically, you need to get it up 10 points, so like 3 level ups to get it to 40, and then from 40 to Fortify Mind will take it from 40 to 50. And ideally, I would like, normally the way I like to do it is you have a mega tank in the middle, and he's like the main tank. And then I would have 2 spearmen on either flank, and they would have almost no melee skill, but they would have very high melee defense. And that a lot of times I would like them to have higher resolve, like maybe 70 or 60 or 70. And the reason for that is Geist. Now, I don't know a lot about the in-game content because I really haven't done a lot of the in-game content. Sometimes I get bored. Probably the easiest game I ever did was a trader. A trader, and you just had tons and tons and tons of money, and I could just buy. I think I bought too many hedge nights, and I just kept buying hedge. I bought a couple hedge nights, and then they would argue with each other, and so I don't think it's a good idea to have more than one hedge night. I think it's okay to have like a hedge night and like a squire or something like that, because they'll train. The hedge knight will train the squire, but I find it interesting all the events and stuff that you can get. Like I've never had it happen, but I know if you carry some wood, and have somebody in your company, you can get like a legendary bow or something. But in a normal campaign, I like Wildman, and of course I like the pure archer. I really was never really a fan of the throwing things until I watched a guy. I think it was the guy I told you about that went through on expert with like low starting funds and low. The economy was terrible. Like you get the least amount of gold for selling stuff, and he had like no deaths. But what he did was he had like, I want to say he had 2 javelin guys, and he had 2 of the heavy ones. Of the ones that do, these are better against light armor, and whereas the I don't think I have any on me right now, but he had 4 of them, 4 of those guys, and basically he just used grabbed a couple of farmhands, and they were all terrible, but they were serviceable frontline guys, and the guys who did all the damage were the javelin throwers, and I think I saw him do one with 9 lives, and I think he only got to proc maybe one time in there in the whole playthrough, but it was just amazing how he could go through the whole campaign and not even lose a single brother. I mean, that guy is just exceptional. So anyway, with this Mega, he's not, his fatigue is not really high enough for Battleforge. I believe it was less than 100 or just barely over 100. So I got Colossus, 9 lives, Fortified Mind, Shield Expert, Steel Brow, Underdog, and Nimble. And I'm not sure what I want to pick next. Usually with the tanks, you don't even really need to specialize in a weapon. A lot of people will do Indomitable Recover, but I really don't think you can spam that anymore. A lot of people like Taunt. I've stuck a Mega out in the middle of 30 enemies or whatever, and I didn't have to taunt at all, and they just attack him. I mean, eventually maybe they'll go around him, but he stalls them long enough that I don't even think you need taunt, really. But I mean, I'm a noob, so I don't know. Even though I got a lot of play hours, I really am not a good player. I'm just. In fact, I used to always play on easy, and the reason I had switched to expert was the gear's better. You get better. A lot of times you'll fight against leaders. You'll fight against hedge knights. You'll fight against all kinds of more fallen heroes. I mean, of course, it's harder, but the thing is, you get a lot better gear. And when you're playing on easy, basically the only way to get gear is to buy the gear. So you basically have to save up a lot of money and use all that money to buy your gear. Whereas on expert, you can just acquire the gear for free just by playing the game. You don't really have to buy any gear. The only gear you need really is food and tools and arrows and bandages and that kind of thing. But and nets. But anyway, so that was this guy, and I really don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't care about him hitting anything. I don't need Brawny because I'm taking Nimble. I love Lone Wolf, and most people don't use Lone Wolf, but the way I use Megas ideally is you want your Mega like over here and the rest of your team on the other side. So you're going to be 3 squares away, and once you're at 3 squares, 3 tile distance away, you get 15% bonus to melee skill, melee defense, range defense, and resolve. So I mean that's just a ton of stats. Now in theory, it's a lot harder to actually be 3 tiles away. I mean, it sounds pretty simple, but it's actually really hard to be 3 tiles away from your team. So it's not active very often, but ideally I would like to go to the end game, and with the end game I think it would be a lot easier if you had Lone Wolf. And another reason why ideally I would like a couple off tanks, and maybe with the off tank I would take rotate, because like I said, they're not really for damage, they're just there to maybe like spear wall and have some resolve, and maybe even take like something like fearsome. But this is a cleaver guy. He was just gonna be a frontline guy, but then he's got like 73 attack, so I might end up making him a duelist. One guy I took dodge on that was going to be Battle Forged, and I think that was a mistake. But so yeah, I picked Cleaver Mastery. I got Brawny, I got Battle Forged, I got Underdog, Student at 9 lives, and Colossus. This guy, I'm not good at builds and stuff. Maybe I need to take Sword. For this guy. But at the same time, I kind of wanted these two as well. I forgot the guy's name, but he had one build called like Blueberry Hunter, and it was just like a specialist, and then like it just went to go hunt geese and that kind of thing. But I think you need like Pathfinder and maybe Lone Wolf. But yeah, I went one of the battles. I got him to face a mercenary 1-on-1, and like 2 hits in, like he's like panicked, and I don't understand why. Um, and why didn't he realize that he builds up 2 less fatigue for each tile traveled? But I mean, he's over 50, so I don't understand why. But anyway, I thought he had really good defense. And see, to me, I'm more focused on defense than offense, really. You can have a guy with like 2-1, like has 2 melee attack and then one melee defense, and they'll get like 18-20. You know, like I'd rather them be like 20, 25, 30. That's why I like the 2 stars in the melee defense. This guy rolled really well too. I gave him fast adaptation as well. This guy I gave dodge to, so I put a few points in initiative. I don't think it really helped him out much. This guy's a miner, so miners usually start out with a little higher resolve. Fisherman, this guy had brute. $15 damage on hit to the head, so I went with Headhunter, Berserk, and Killing Frenzy. And maybe I need to take Underdog as well for maybe. Ideally, I'd like Swordmaster and Underdog and Reach Advantage, but I've taken so many things up here. Like I've taken, ideally, I would say don't take Down Lives and don't take Gifted, and then I could have picked up Reach Advantage and Underdog and Sword Spec. So I think 11's max level, and then I get a 1 refunded from this. So I think I got 2 perks left. And see, the problem is I want 3, but I only have room for 2. I've seen some people, as long as you don't get surrounded, I guess you could get away with not taking Underdog. Because ideally you don't want to throw your guys up against no more than 2 unless they're like a tank or something, but and sometimes I give these guys nimble instead, but and then with this guy, his melee attack skill was, and it's a lot higher. It's just debuffed, but his melee attack skill was not as high as this guy's because he's got 3 stars. He's kind of like an all-star 3-in-1, but this guy's not is really almost as good because he had dexterous. But I took fast adaptation because his melee skill was a little less, and I want him to be able to hit. So this guy I took Headhunter because of brute, and then this guy I took fast adaptation because his melee, he didn't have a star and his melee skill was a little lower. And I guess like a pure archer, you would like bullseye, but I don't even think you really need bullseye, and I really don't even think you need much fatigue. I think you know just range skill, get range defense up to like 25, 30 maybe. I don't even think you need. I don't even care about resolve either. The only thing I really care about is range skill and hit points, because it's going nimble, and so I got archers with 100 hit points. 97, 101, 100. This guy was a little harder to, and the only thing different with my archers, my crossbowmen, is I got throwing mastery here. I guess I need to take Duelist. I don't know why I haven't taken Duelist yet. But I need to take Duelist. I picked up Berserk, but I should have picked up Duelist first, probably. Duelist and then Killing Frenzy. Like, he's got 40. I don't even care. That's fine. He's got 55. He's got 40. 40, that's fine. And the reason that's okay is because they're standing right next to the bannerman, and he kind of gives them his extra. I can't remember the other guy I used to watch. I want to say his name's Toby. And it's kind of funny because he had a playthrough called 13th Legion as well. And I just, I always liked the name, and I always that's kind of what I did. But he would always, like, when he's starting, like, he's like, as soon as he gets a recruit, like this guy, he's like, all right, like, he maps out the whole build of what he's going to do. Like this guy's going to be he's going to be a shield breaker or something like that. Like he maps out the whole build, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I find the conversation interesting. This guy's pretty terrible, but he's got 2 melee defense, and I just really needed just a body. The only reason I got him on the back line right now is to hopefully survive a couple levels, and once he gets a couple levels, throw him on the front. Sometimes if I get I had a 3-star Mega, and he was level 1, and I threw him on the front line, and he died like the first battle. So a lot of times I think it's better if you get a really good brother like something like this. Start them out on the back line, even if they're not going to do much, just so they don't die right away and they can get a couple levels under them. But like I said, these 2 guys I just had for bodies. This guy has a 1-star melee defense, and he has Survivor. Which is nice. His starting resolve is decent. As you can see, he's way below 100, so he definitely can't be. He definitely can't be a Battleforge. Just to show you, I mean, look how much fatigue this guy has, 126. But I mean, with the heaviest gear, even that's really, 126, and he's already down to. I like these guys to be somewhere around like 70. That's kind of like a sweet spot, I think. um, I had one guy that was awesome. He had 3 stars in melee attack. He had 3 stars in melee defense. He was like level 5, level 6. But he died. He was a vagabond. So he had a bad background, but he was really good. But he died, and I wish he would still be here. This guy's kind of like the ideal frontliner for me. You know, like 1 melee attack, 2 melee defense. Ideally, I want at least 1 star in each. 1 star. The only reason I took some of these other guys were, well, number one, I was desperate because I had I had like 2 injured guys. I only had like 14 people. 2 were injured, so I needed like 4 bodies, you know, so I needed just a body, you know. I really don't want to pay 2,000 gold for just a body that might die on the first battle. But this guy, his stats are actually higher. It's just he's injured. But I want to say he started like around 60 or so melee attack, which is really high. This guy, of course, is a 3-star. And he has 2 good traits as well. His melee defense is going to suck. Like I said, even if you get 3 stars, like, I guess like someone like this is the one you need to take dodge on. The only reason I don't really like dodge is because as the game goes on, you will get injuries. As I said, like all these guys have Colossus, but yet you see how many injuries they got. And a lot of times the injuries, they will affect either they will affect fatigue, they will affect initiative, they will affect resolve. I mean, so if you bank on like dodge or something, you could easily get a debuff, a permanent debuff that that hurts your initiative. See, like this one, a bruised leg, minus 20% initiative. I mean, luckily these will heal, but some of these other ones are permanent. I thought I had someone with a permanent one, but maybe they died, or maybe I got rid of them. But I know I had like there's one like fractured hand or something that's like minus 5 melee skill and melee range skill or something like that. But 5% is not crazy, so it's. But even like this group, even like just these 9 brothers, if they're healthy, they could defeat a group of brigands. Because with Berserk and stuff, this guy's going to kill multiple guys in the same turn. But yeah, this guy's really low. He's only rank 2. This guy's 5, so he's getting there. And then we got 10 and 6, 8, 8, 9, 8, 10, 8, 9, 9, 8. And ideally, I keep saying ideally, but normally when I play, I try to have like a core group. Like let's say this is my core group. Nine guys or something, or maybe even 8 guys. Maybe take this guy out, but you know, this would be like my core, and then like I would have fodder sometimes on the flanks, like just a level 1, even in loincloth sometimes, and just a little dagger or something, and the flank guys are gonna die. But what happens is the guys here in your core levels up. So that's one way of increasing the ranks of your core players, and but yet still having some kind of throwaway guys. Like if this level 2 guy dies, who cares? You know, like whatever. Even this guy, I really don't care that much about him. I mean, granted, I would like to see him, you know, make it to 10 or 11, but I mean, if he dies, he dies. Like one of these guys that's 8 and 9 is a lot more important in my mind than this guy is. But yeah, if that little, you know, this little group here could fight some groups of brigands. Maybe not 16 or 17, but definitely 9 or 10 easily, and maybe even more. I just would like to defeat them comfortably without anyone taking any serious damage, or I really don't even mind if they take armor damage, because ideally you could just swap armors. Of course, I got rid of a lot of them because I had way too many. Maybe my next achievement will be increasing the storage. But a normal playthrough, I was saying, like I like 2 out of the 12. I would like 2 pure archers and and 2 pure crossbow. 3 tanks, a main tank, and then 2 spearmen on the flanks with high resolve, and then eventually you have all these like 2-handed guys on the front line. Once they're like this guy is, once you get like 20 melee defense, you can throw him on the front. Maybe not this guy because he's got 0 range defense. Maybe I'd stick him in the back because like I have this guy in front of him. But yeah, so I'd have like out of the 12 would be like a flank guy here, a flank guy here, a mega in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. So you know, I love these 2-handed swords. So I'd have like, you know, maybe 3 on the front line, maybe another one in the back. if he had low melee defense. I mean, range defense. Um, and then a couple polearm users. I think the polearm guys are probably not the most useful, because it's more hybrids that are better, I think, where you have like high melee skill and high bow skill, and you swap between crossbow and two-hander. But I'm more of like a pure guy, so I don't really like the hybrid stuff. But I do like a lot of these axes just for shield breaking, because like those guys during the Noble War, it's very hard to hit them. They'll just shield wall and you just can't hit them. And the only way you can hit them sometimes is by destroying their shield, even though it takes several turns to destroy their shield sometimes. The other way is surrounding them and getting morale checks, and that's another reason why I like the dogs so much. Is number one, they can attack defensive fortifications. They're expendable. They only cost like 100, 200 gold sometimes 400, but normally they're in the 250 range or so. And you can stick them right in the middle of 3 enemies, a spot that you need to be, but you don't want to step there because you're going to be flanked, and they're going to get hit chance bonuses, and so it's better to stick a dog there. And not only that, like I said about the nachos, they can go on top of a dead body. Like as soon as you kill one, you can drop a dog around top of the dead body, so they don't keep getting bigger. And also with the undead, when they respawn the animated undead, they spawn with like 10% health, and a lot of times those dogs will kill them without you having to do anything. And probably most importantly is the reason I like the dogs is things like swamps. I mean, I hate swamps. I hate forests, but sometimes you get to fight in that stuff, and dogs are really important in swamp fights, and they can chase people down, or if you just want to buy some time and maybe kill, let's say there's a leader or something coming at you, and you can throw a dog at them, and that leader will be kept busy by that dog for a turn or two, and maybe that turn or two gives you a chance to kill 5 or 6 brigands, and then you go on to the leader and surround them and take out the leader. So dogs to me are just so useful. I mean, and I just wish there was more places to buy them. Like in this campaign, the only place I could buy them at was the place that we were at war with. So once I lost those dogs, I had a really hard time restocking them. The downside about dogs, and this may or may not be true, I don't know, but is the dogs might take your kills, they might take your experience, but I think it's a lot faster and very efficient to kill brigands, because let's say you're trying to flank around the right side and there's like 2 melee guys in your way. Well, if you drop 2 dogs around to have them on those melee guys, you can go around them, and go towards the archers, because the archers in this game are so devastating. And with crossbows, you don't even have to have. I mean, one campaign, I basically stuck crossbows on everybody, or even throwing weapons, everybody on the back line and everybody on the front line. And one thing that would do is, so when you're assaulting fortifications, is that they will charge you. Granted, you got to spend a turn changing back to your normal weapon once they get within melee range. But I think that's worth it sometimes, because if you're assaulting something up a hill and they got deformications and but yeah, my most fun, of course, besides seeing the starting brothers and stuff like that, is when these guys are like 11 and stuff, and you get to see what the true build is, and what they're capable of doing. So that's the fun part for me. Part of me wants to, say, all right, well, you got 25 Knights of the Round Table, and then you do your battles and whatever, and over time, some of those people are going to die, and but you never replace them. You just keep your your starting Knights of the Round Table. But even these guys, I really probably shouldn't even have picked them up, because, like I said, they're not really any good. I should be looking better, but and we saw a couple militia that were really good, but they were like 2,000 gold each, and I don't want to pay that much. I don't know why they changed it. You used to be able to buy militia for like 500 gold, and now they're like 1,000. And I guess the reason is militia are so good, and that's why they increase the price of them. But these guys, the Daytailor, I mean, they suck with fatigue, so they can never be battle forged really, but unless they got 3 stars in fatigue or something. But these guys are really cheap, and a lot of times you'll see 3, and not a lot of times, but every once in a while you'll find like a 3-star brother in attack and 2-star melee defense, and that's an all-star. And at this point in the game, I'm looking for all-stars, and the only, like I said, the only reason I had these guys was just I only got 11. I got 4 injured right now. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll decide at some point whether I'm going to go forward with this campaign or start a new one or start a different game. I'd like to get back to Bar too, but I don't know how long my account is suspended for. Anyway, thank you.